Then you feel me? You fail quick, it ain't going nowhere. Get to the next one.
Thanks.
You know, because I guarantee you, anybody watching this video, like if you were to try 50 dropshipping stores, you would no longer work or need school.
Thanks.
Period. Like period.
That's why I be trying
It's
to
that
tell
simple.
people.
But a lot of people not even gonna get to the point where they try too.
Yeah. Yo, this is SB, better known as Directed by SB, and this is Running. So I started this podcast to highlight entrepreneurs making their way towards success and to also give viewers advice and also inspiration to go and pursue their own path and to stay running. So, with all due, let's introduce our guest, Young Versace, digital guru, e-commerce king.
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? My name is Young Versace. I'm an e-commerce king. Like he said, I specialize in Shopify dropshipping mainly, Shopify, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, things of that sort. That's not the only thing I do. I also have an ads agency, so I run ads for businesses as well. Modeling agencies, so, OnlyFans per se, we get them turned on OnlyFans. We doing the stocks, the crypto, all of the above. We really just trying to build a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, scale it to the moon. So that's essentially what we have going and what we've been working on the past couple of years. Okay,
so when did you first realize that I need to take this step towards entrepreneurship?
It wasn't like I was ever really forcing to try to have a successful business. It was more so something like I kind of been doing since I was a kid, little stuff like selling snacks in the school, selling all types of stuff I'm not finna talk about on here, but, always had that entrepreneur mindset, always was trying to make a sale, trying to tell somebody how to do this, how to get into this technology, always kind of been ahead of the game in that sense. But as far as Shopify dropshipping, I had actually gotten to that on accident. But, we'll see if we get into that later. Yeah.
Okay. So, if y'all don't know, so I met AJ, or Young Versace, when I went to the University of Houston. So I kind of want to ask, what is your advice to somebody that's, in school right now, but they don't really want to do school, or per se they want to do something that's more than just working a 9 to 5?
So I would say, you always have to have a plan as far as school goes, work goes, because, at the end of the day, I tell everyone to get money, you got to work, whether it be for yourself, for somebody else, you got to work. So, there's not necessarily anything wrong with being in school, but if you do aspire to do more than that, then you do need to make sure outside of school, you working on this, and you working on this side hustle, or you working on this business. And, school isn't really the only thing you kind of focusing on the whole time, because, if you do want a business or something else on the side, you got to put time invested into it. So, less time investment into school and maybe more so time investment into your side hustle. And that goes the same if you have a job, less time invested at work, that 8 hours you spend at work working for your boss. You could be spending 8 hours at home working for yourself, and a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people, they'll spend the 8 hours at home or at work working for their boss. They get home and that's when they relax, that's when they chilling, and, they really should, be working at home for themselves regardless, the whole day, if possible. But yeah, that's how it goes.
So whenever I talk to entrepreneurs, they usually have a very interesting story. Mm-hmm. So what's the background to Young Versace, and how did you get to the point to where you are now?
Yeah, so essentially, I got the name, I used to play NBA 2K. So if you don't know, that's video game 2K basketball game, right? So,
yeah.
You go on YouTube right now, search up Young Versace, you probably see my 2K videos and my PlayStation Plus videos. But that's initially how I got the name from playing 2K. I got 67,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that just goes to show, I had a good thing going there, but eventually it got to the point where, I was kind of focused on, getting 100K subscribers. This is something I like to say a lot. I was focused on getting 100K subscribers, but then I had to switch lanes and reroute and focus on getting $100,000. Because I had 67K subscribers, but I ain't have $10,000 in my bank. You know, I'm just making YouTube videos. You know, you getting paid a little bit from YouTube, but it was to the point where, you know, at this rate, I would have probably had to go back to school, you know, go get a job, something like that. And it was like, I had reached that bump, and then I had transitioned into e-commerce, you know, so I essentially started, you know, drop shipping, you know, and, you know, I was seeing success there, you know, and that's where I made the jump on accident from getting successful on YouTube, but then understanding that you can make, you know, because I was making probably a couple thousand every month on YouTube. So, you know, it got to the point where I was able to understand that, you know, you could make money online from home, you know, being a content creator, being a creative.
Digital money.
You know, freelancing, you know, things of that sort, just drawing engagement on social media, you know. So that's when I really doubled down, tripled down. I was like, you know, really how it went. I was making a couple thousand a month off YouTube. One month, you know, I saw a check, you know, it was like for $500 from YouTube. And I'm like, oh no, like, you know, I'm like, at this rate, you know, I can't really
survive off $500.
So I was like, I might have to go back to school. And then that's when that panic mode got into me. I was like, hold on, I can't let this thing go. So it's like, I really started focusing on e-commerce. I was on YouTube all day searching how to make money online, how to, you know, I was doing everything. And, you know, one thing is stuck, and I just tripled down on that, kind of forgot about YouTube. But then in turn, I was able to go scale businesses, multiple businesses past $2 million, $3 million. So that's just how it went.
It's interesting that you say that, because like I feel like every entrepreneur, whenever they first start, they start with one business, but it usually a passion first, right?
Yeah.
And then they realize maybe that their passion doesn't really bring them as much money right now. That doesn't mean to completely stop on that business, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, you need capital to scale anything.
Yeah, 100%.
So what do you think about somebody that just wants to strive for passion-based business, right?
Yeah.
Or that, you know what I mean, like proven business models that you can pursue that and make money right now?
So how I look at it, you know, when approaching business is like, it's all about the money. So, you know, like a lot of times if a business is too emotional, you know, or it's like too much about emotional politics and things like that, I won't even dabble in it personally, because, you know, I don't like getting caught up in all that, spending my time worried about how somebody feels or this, that, and the third. You know, I try to get straight to the profit. So that's generally how it would go for me. But as far as passion-based business and things of that sort, you know, it's got to be something you got to sit down and analyze it, and whatever it is, you got to make sure it's something that if you're doing at a small level, that you could also be doing like at a high scale. So it's something that you don't necessarily want to keep yourself in a box with. That's something to really think about when you're starting a business is this business going to be able to operate without me? That's what I'm saying. Without me, so it's like you could delegate. You know, you can have people working for you. You can have somebody doing this. You can have somebody doing this, and you know, in essence, you know, you have a team working in tandem, operating the business. And you got to make sure it's something that can be done that way. You know, but then again, you're always going to have the certain thing where, you know, it might be a custom drawn patent where nobody else can do for you. So with that, you know, you might just need to charge a higher price. You know, so. That may be it, because, you know, there's only so long you'll be able to sit down there painting. So you might just need to charge maybe $2,000 per painting instead. You know, maybe so over the course of the month you might be able to knock out 20 paintings. You know what I'm saying? 15 paintings. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you're charging that low amount, you're going to be limited. You know, because even if you're doing 100 paintings a month, and you're charging $100,
you're not gonna make no money,
and you're gonna spend all your time painting. So you really need to I guess charge what you're worth, you know, if you're not able to kind of scale in that sense where you could just hire an employee, all right, do this task, do that task, you know. So that's something to keep in mind for sure.
Okay. So with e-commerce, a lot of people try e-commerce businesses, but they fail. So how do you find a winning product?
So, you know, finding a winning product, you know, it's often something that people overthink. So, you know, it's something that, you know, you get skilled at once you've done it over and over again. But at the beginning, it might just be something that it seems nearly impossible. But then the fact is, it's millions of winning products out here. You know, it's enough products for everybody to eat. So essentially, what I would do to find winning products is I would kind of already get a feel for what's already selling, you know, what's already winning. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel with none of this. You basically have to do what's already working. So, you know, a lot of time people come in the game, they're trying to think too hard or think like everybody else. And those are the two things you don't really want to do. You want to like really make it a no-brainer type of thing. And then you kind of want to think outside of the box at the same time. So, you know, you don't really have any competition, no oversaturation within the market or things of that sort. Yeah, that's essentially it, you know. Winning products, you know, there's a lot of strategies, you know, and I got programs and mentorship courses and communities services that I offer that, you know, I give access to these winning products, you know, all the time for completely free. You know, it's all free, by the way. I've never really charged for any like courses or any things of that. But, you know, a lot of people tell me I should get into that game, but, you know, we'll see maybe one day. But as far as right now, if you're watching this video, you know, you're early. You know, if you're watching this right now, you're early because I don't charge for any of the game. It is completely free.
Yeah, that's great. So whenever we talk about running, right, it's basically like hard work and to never quit. Because, you know, whenever I talk to entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, they always ask me, okay, what's the blueprint to making money?
Yeah.
And then I always ask them, do you work hard enough?
Yeah.
So like, what does hard work mean to you, and like how far has hard work pushed you to get to where you are now?
Basically, like, hard work means to me, like, are you doing what they're not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's essentially what it is. Like, 1%, to be in the 1%, you got to be taking 1% actions. You know, most people not waking up by 5 a.m. You know, most people partying over the weekend. Yeah. Most people, you know, wasting a lot of their time, you know, on a day-to-day basis. You know, they might spend an hour scrolling on the gram doing this, or they might say they hungry, but they at the restaurant for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? The restaurant for 2 hours sitting down. You know, that's probably already 10% of your day. You do the math, like, gone. You know, and that's like, you only get one day every day, so you got to be utilizing your day to the maximum potential. Like, it really goes deep, you know, when you really think about it. So it's that 1% actions, you know, 1% results, and that's essentially like something that I really like stand by. So as far as like the working hard, you don't necessarily need to even be working hard, more so working smart, you know, because you know, it's somebody right now that they probably made an M today and they didn't even move a finger. They probably just sitting down, right? Yeah. But then it's somebody they gonna work the next 5-10 years slaving, labor every day, modern day slavery, and they're not gonna see nothing near that. So it's like you really gotta put it into like perspective. Like I really believe it's like a game of chess. So you really gotta position yourself on the chessboard in an advantage position. You know, rather than, you know, stay in a position where it may not necessarily be an advantage position, you know, and you're actually at a disadvantage as far as time, freedom, you know, finances, etc. You know, and I think, you know, you just need to move to this side of the board instead. You know, if you buying stuff all the time, maybe you need to stop. Maybe you need to start selling stuff all the time. Yeah. You know, it's that simple. Yeah.
So, you know, one thing I like to do is to talk numbers, right? Yeah. So when was the first time when you realized, oh, I'm really making money right now?
Oh, yeah. So basically, you know, like I said, you know, I was doing that little YouTube stuff, right? So it's like, you know, I was doing little 2K, VC glitches, how to get free PlayStation Plus, go look it up, you know. But then it's like I'm making $30 a day, you know. And that was that was like right at the beginning of coronavirus. That was like, you know, March, you know, when all the NBA shut down. Yeah. All that stuff was going on. So it's like I'm making a cool little $50 a day, $60 a day. And it's like at that point, you know, that'll probably be $1,500, $2,000 a month pace. And I never really made that type of money before. I never really had a job. I never was really working a job. I never had a job, by the way, you know. I never really aligned with that belief of, you know, time for money or, you know, go get a job or, you know, it's like, even though that's great to have, but, you know, at the same time, you know, you got to understand, like, you don't really necessarily want to be trading. But let's get back to the question. But
nah, so you can continue on it. We got all day.
You don't necessarily want to trade your time for money and things like that. Not get a job doesn't mean go do no dumb shit. It just means learn how to work for yourself, you know, learn how to start a business, etc. But at the time, what's it called? I'm making like 50, 60 a day, you know, it was a little cool. And then, you know, like I said, you know, I was making 2-3K a month off of YouTube. And then one month it just started to go down. So that's when I kind of got a taste of online money, right? But then when I got to the stage where I was like, hold on, I'm making money for real. is, you know, I had posted this one YouTube video and it was like for gift card referral service, and it was like, so I posted it on my followers. They went to go download the app. I was getting like referral points and stuff. I made like 10K, and like that same day I uploaded the video, and YouTube wouldn't even pay me that.
So how does YouTube? So I know that they have for different areas of YouTube they pay differently. So how does gaming pay in YouTube? Like
YouTube wasn't even paying me that. That was like because I made it, and it was the referral app that was paying me that. You know, I probably if I got 30K views on that video, I probably made $50 on that video. Yeah. But it was the fact that I had like 2,000 people, 1,000 people go do the referral thing. I made like 10 bands on the back end. That's when I realized, oh, it's that easy. Like, you just really kind of got to be creative with it, come at it with a different angle. So it's like I started doing all types of things, you know, where it's like I'm trying to advertise this dropshipping store on Facebook now. I'm trying to do Instagram now.
Yeah, trying like different avenues.
Yeah, different avenues. And then that's when, you know, I started my first dropshipping store. First month, I probably did 80 to 100K in sales. And that's when shit really started changing. Like I was like, hold on, I'm making a little pay right now. Like, facts. You feel me? Like I'm making a little pay right now. And
explain how that works, because you know people get into the e-commerce game, right? Yeah. But they don't understand ad versus how much, you know what I mean? Say for instance, you put ad dollars, right? And how much you actually make as far as like how much the product costs to make and how much you're selling it for. Like, give us that game.
So, I mean, for example, you know, say you spending $50 a day on Facebook ads. So $50 a day, let's say you get 2 sales on the day, but you're selling like an $80 product. So you might do 160 in sales because you got 2 sales, but you spent $50 to do 160. So let's say that you getting the product for $20 each, right? But you selling it for 80, right? So that $50 plus the 2 units that you got to pay for, that's $40 right there. So that'd be $90 that you spent on the day. But then you got 160 in sales. So you spent $50 to generate 160 in sales and make $70 profit. You know, I believe that would be $70 profit on the day. And that's light, you know. All you spend, you make 70 that day, right? So every day doing that, you're going to make, over the course of a month, $2,100. You know what I'm saying? That's enough to quit your job. That's enough to flex and pop your stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that. So
wisely though.
That's like really the bare minimum. It's like it's really bare minimum.
But there's people that work jobs and they don't make that much type
Exactly. So when you put it into perspective, it's like, hold on, I spent 50. All right, let me start spending 500. So now you spending 500. You making 700 a day. You know, you making 10 times what you was making when you was spending $50 a day. And this is basically cookie cutter. 2 + 2 = 4 when it comes to that. So now you, instead of making 70 a day, you making 700 a day. You know what I'm saying? And with
that's hard to scale.
Yeah, you could reinvest into your business. Now you spending 500 a day on ads, you can start spending 5,000 a day on ads. Think about it. And that's when it gets real, because now you're making 5 bands a day, 7 bands on a day. Hey, you feel me? So facts. All legit, you know what I'm saying? All good. So it's like, you know, that's when you really put into perspective, and then you realize, oh, you spending 50 a day, or you really wasn't really even doing anything, right? So that's basically how it goes. As far as scaling, you know.
So I posted a video the other day, right? And it was Grant Cardone. And he said that if I was making $400K a year, I would be embarrassed with myself. So how do you feel like that? Because from my perspective, if somebody's making $400K a year, right? $400K a year, that's already in the top 10% of people that make money. So I don't think that's an embarrassment per se. And so say for instance, if you say that, right, you still have workers that work under you that don't make that type of money. So how do you? So I would say, like, I wouldn't say that's an embarrassment, you know, because you should never really be embarrassed about, you know what I'm saying? Especially like if you really put in the work, if you know you hustling as hard as you can every day, ain't no way you feeling embarrassed. Facts. You know? And then ain't no way the results not gonna show. So I don't necessarily believe in that. But, you know, I could understand what he's trying to get at when he says that, as far as mindset wise, because sometimes you gotta be super fucking extreme. You gotta be like, we're so extreme sometimes to the point where it's like, it's laughable. Like, this guy is crazy, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if somebody says, if I'm making 4 M's a year, I'll be embarrassed of myself. Shit, I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get to your level because, like, that's crazy. I want to get to the point where I feel like that, right?
I'm trying to get to the point where I feel like that. So it's like, I don't necessarily feel no animosity or no type of way as far as when he says that. But it's something that, like, obviously you're not supposed to take that at face value. You're not supposed to be like, oh man, you're not supposed to feel no type of way just because he said that. You're more so supposed to maybe look at it from him,
from his perspective.
Look at it from his perspective. Yeah. So it's like, maybe his bills is $100K a month. Yeah. So it's like $400K. Y'all maybe he got an end of year in bills. So if he making $400K a year, it's like, hold on, like he might be living like, it's all perspective thing, so it's all relative. So, I would say, if I'm making $100K a year, I'll be embarrassed with myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, shit, because you know what I'm saying? What is you really making? So it's like that. Yeah. He probably looks at, he probably up 20, 30 in, so of course he probably looking at it like that. Okay. Yeah. That's a good perspective. Yeah. And then sometimes whenever I've been talking to people, right, and whenever we talk about courses, right, so how do you feel about like the whole course culture? Just because how I feel about it is that if you're proven in a game and you're really doing the numbers and you have the numbers to back it up, I don't see if there's a problem with courses. Yeah. But say for instance, these fake gurus, they start a business in 1 month and then they're already starting a course, right? And then, cause I don't know, like from my perspective, I'm really generally trying to help people. Yeah. Likewise, yeah. But some people, they just trying to come up, which is like, that's kind of like, say for instance, you get to the top and you start preying on, the people that's at the bottom. I mean, that's how the game go, So the top 1% forever going to prey on the other 99%. But as far as the courses, I don't really got a problem with, because if you do feel like you know enough about your craft or your specialization or your industry that you could charge somebody to pay for it, and they're willing enough to pay for it, if your marketing is good enough or your results is good enough, then shit, I'm not going to stop you or hate on you making your money, And as far as the courses go, if it's somebody that's broke today and they don't know nothing about they should spend the money on their education. So if it's somebody that's broke today and they don't know nothing about their industry or nothing about Airbnb, let's say, for example, and in 30 days, they telling everybody that they know everything about Airbnb, but they never did Airbnb before, but now all of a sudden they making $100K a month because they teaching Airbnb. Yeah. Like, come on, they making $100K a month. Okay. So it's like, I'm like, all right. Like they making $100K. I mean, he still really came up regardless, right? They don't really care what you think. Number one, number two, it doesn't really matter because they printing cash. They don't got to go work for nobody. They making $100K a month, so it's like cool. You could be mad hating on them because they selling courses that they don't really know nothing on. But it's like it's like you can't really hate the player. You hate the game. It's nothing that I would do more. I wouldn't necessarily dabble in that. But it's like I'm looking at it and it's like, man, like. They just buy the land, like, like they selling that coin, they buy the land, like shit. I'm trying to get up with them, like it's like not necessarily something that I would do because, like you said, I provide free value. I've never sold a course because I don't need to, And people tell me I should be selling like video courses on like how to scale media agencies. For sure. You probably could, but one thing I believe in is people are gonna see through that. So it's like people. I always believe in being authentic, and people are gonna see through that. So if you are trying to teach somebody something that you don't really know about, they're gonna know, and eventually your reputation and things of that sort will be damaged in the community as far as your customers and reviews and. So it's like something that I would not necessarily dabble in myself. But I mean, like, if you're making 5 M's a year off the courses, man, I'm not finna be sitting there. You making 5 M, I'm not finna be sitting there hating when he making 5 M's off courses. And it's like he damn near, or they damn near could be, really providing some type of value. It might, you don't know because you're not even. And it might be some people might have came up because of their course. Maybe if it's just one person. And another thing too is that, sometimes whenever people buy these courses, they're not really, somebody will buy a course and don't even read it. 100%. It's like 100%. Sometimes like, whenever people 100%. Say things, they never even apply it how it's supposed to be applied. Yeah, it's about to be New Year's. I know course sales are going to be going up. Nah, crazy. Course sales probably about to shoot through the roof. But that's just how it goes. And I feel like the course industry will forever be a large industry, something that, is always making money as far as, because I know a 70-year-old, he told me back in like 1970, he knew this one girl that she was calling girls around the world for pageant queen training or something of that sort. That's crazy. And she was charging them a rack a piece back in like 1960. So, It just goes to show.
Okay, so yeah, you even talk about the 7-year-old. How you like network? Can you talk about like how important it is to be like surrounded with people?
Oh yeah, that's very important. It's very important to be surrounded with high level, high value individuals. You know, because y'all will elevate each other. You know,
Facts.
and it's really no going broke. You know, it's not really no being extra stressed out sometimes just based off the fact that you know you got this person in your corner. You know, you can call on them, or you know, or it's like. You know, and that's just how it goes. Connections, high value connections. Like somebody might get signed to an NBA team just because his brother, or you know, they best friends with him, or you know, this, that, and the third. So it'll get you indoors. It's not going to do the work for you, but it'll get you indoors.
That's another thing. Sometimes I be trying to tell people is that, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can network all you want, but you know, a part of networking is creating your own value.
100%. Yeah, it'll get you indoors, but it's not going to necessarily do the work for you, do the heavy lifting for you. Yeah. It'll get you at the table though. Yeah. You know, it'll get you across them. You know, it'll get you to be able to have a conversation with the person at least. But then from there, it's up to what you do with it, you know. Yeah.
So I know you were saying about the OnlyFans agency. Can you talk to us about like how important marketing is, and how do you, like, with marketing being so important, like how do you utilize ads, like Facebook ads, whether TikTok ads for an e-commerce product?
So with the OnlyFans agency, basically marketing is the most important thing, you know, I'll probably say on the planet, you know, as far as business goes. So, you know, with OnlyFans, it's to the point where an OnlyFans creator, they might be making like $2,000-$3,000 a month, $4,000, even $5,000 sometimes a month, you know, and then, you know, most of the time they're young, you know, so that's more than enough to like be lit, popping your stuff on the gram, look like you rich, you know, like you know, living the life, you know, $5K a month, I'll do it. So it's like a lot of times they might be making that, but they don't really know that bare minimum they're supposed to be making $30K, $50K a month, bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? With what they doing.
Sex sales.
Yeah, with what they doing, with the market for it, you know what I'm saying? The unsaturation, you know, Bad Baby made 50 M's. Yeah. So that just goes, I know many creators made millions this year that nobody even knows. You never heard of them. Small town girl, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. So it's like, they might think they lit off their $5K a month, but they don't know they can make $30K a month for real. $50K a month if they had their marketing wheel right.
That's what I be like telling people now, because right now, like, I've been talking to like various creators. I'm like, bro, I said, bro, you have all of this. Like, why you not being serious with this? You know, already, because once you already have a small community, that's already letting you know that what you like, whatever you're making, whatever your craft is already good enough. It's already better than some, because some people don't even have a community that backs them at all.
100%.
So it's really like, you know what I mean, like taking your marketing to the next level.
Yeah. So, you know, so how it is with them, you know, a lot of times they'll be afraid because they don't know how it goes. I recently took a step back from the OnlyFans just because I'm focusing more on e-commerce and things of that sort, you know. So I took a step back from the modeling and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of times they'll be scared to partner because, you know, they think they're cool with the little $5K a month, and they think, you know, they thinking this, that, and the third. But, you know, really in turn, if you're making 50% of 50K, think about it.
25 to 5.
You know what I'm saying? You making 50%. If you're in 30K, you make 50% of 50% of 50K. You make 20K, 30K a month instead of that little 5K a month. And that's when you know they ain't really no I in team. You know, you need a team to scale.
At the end of the day, is how much are you actually making? So whether you can do it by yourself, right, and not have the help, you make what you make there. Okay, that's cool. But why not? You know what I mean? And it's gonna make your job easier because now you don't have to worry about marketing for yourself.
100%.
So, talk to like what's some advice you would give to somebody that wants to get into e-commerce?
So really, I would give the advice that, you know, like, it might not happen on your first store or your third store or your fifth store, but if you keep on making these stores,
the product is gonna hit. You
know, just the way the game is set up, it's eventually gonna happen. You know, eventually, you know, even if it is you're making 2K, 3K on the month, you know, or even 1,000 on a month. If you keep making these stores, spitting these stores out, failing quick, you're gonna succeed a lot faster. You know, you can't be scared to fail, because the quicker you fail, the quicker you done got it over with, the quicker you can go ahead and do it again.
Resiliency.
Exactly. So that's the number one advice I would give, because a lot of people, they'll start and, you know, they'll fail on their first store and then they'll just give up. You know, they don't want to do it anymore. And it's like, hold on, you know, it could have been your second store. That could have been the one that really did it. You know, Fashion Nova. They started off drop shipping. They started off with e-commerce. Shein, they started off drop shipping. Boohoo Man, Boohoo, all of these
big corporations.
Gymshark, all of these guys, they started off drop shipping. So it's more so something that you want to try, and you want to really see how far you can take it. You know, you want to really see how far it can go.
Yeah, you got to keep running.
But then you feel me? You fail quick, it ain't going nowhere. Get to the next one.
Facts.
You know, because I guarantee you, anybody watching this video, like if you were to try 50 dropshipping stores, you would no longer work or need school.
Facts.
Period. Like period.
That's why I be trying to
It's that
tell
simple.
people.
But a lot of people not even gonna get to the point where they try to.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's crazy because a lot of times, like whenever you hear people's success stories, it's like they failed right before they just came up crazy. So it's like keep on going.
Yeah.
And then what's your advice for like people? Do you recommend mentors?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Most definitely. Like that's basically like a cheat code. You know, because you know money makes things happen. So it's more so you need money to make money on some business end too. But as far as mentorship goes, it's basically like this. All of the things that I struggle with that I didn't know, all of the tools and tips that I have, you could pay to get that, or you can go take the time and the hard way to get it.
Facts.
You know, I've literally paid mentors for information that I've used to turn around and make it back within a week, 2 weeks.
Crazy.
You know, and
trying to tell people
that's the game. Because why would you go spend 2 years, a year trying to learn this sauce when you could go pay
and get it?
You know? And then it just comes down to make sure you paying the right person. You getting it from the right individual. You know, you got to do your due diligence, this, that, and the third. Make sure you're getting it from the right person, but you know, that's probably the only thing that can go wrong with that. Because if you get information from the right individual, then, you know, it's good information. It's good information. You get bad information, it's bad information. So that's just how it goes. Mentorship's definitely a fast track. You know, to the big parts, you know, to the ball game.
Even from my entrepreneurs that's already even making money.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Why not make more?
100%. Like,
even when I was in Vegas, like last April, it's people with 500 M's.
Yeah.
10 M's.
Yeah.
Like, I got a mentor. Like, it don't stop. Bro.
It don't stop.
Like,
it don't stop. It's always somebody that's probably making a little bit more than you, know, a lot more than you. So
it can help you make more money.
Exactly. So it's like, I look at it like this with the mentorships. Like, a lot of people, they doing 500K dinner with Jay-Z. Like, me, I'd probably take the dinner with Jay-Z, and if I had to pay him 500K and I happen to have it, I would pay him for the mentorship. And, you know, inadvertently, he would be a mentor, and you would make way more on the upside than that little 500K. Even
that pool of connection that he gonna put you in is gonna be different.
You know, so it's like, it's up to them. What are you doing with it, you know? Because you can't still just be lazy like you was before. Now you really got to get up there and work. You got to go make some moves. You got to go to this deal, make this deal happen. Go to this meeting, you know? You gotta really get to work, you know? Yeah, 100%.
And then talk to me about, like, hunger. Because, you know what I mean? It's easy to see money and get comfortable. Yeah. But what keeps you going to, like, okay, I reached this level, but now I got to reach the next level?
Because it's always going to be a level to reach. You know, the game don't stop. The game don't stop. You know, as much as people think that if they had $1 million right now, they would be straight. Nah, it does. It's not that simple. You know, it's not really that simple. You know, and the game doesn't really stop. So when you do get that $1 million, inadvertently, you're going to be wanting more. You know, when you do get that M, you're going to want some more, you know, and it's things out here that cost, you know what I'm saying? It's things out here that cost and it's for sale, you know. A private jet, it costs and it's for sale. A yacht, it costs and it's for sale. So, you know, it's always gonna be that next level. No matter how bad that you might think you might have won or this or that, it's always gonna be something to buy, always gonna be more money to spend, always gonna be more money to make, you know. So it's always gonna be a higher level, you know. That's why, you know, it's always humbling. You always gotta keep yourself grounded and appreciative, just knowing that it's always somebody doing better than you. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Yeah, because I'll be trying to tell people, I said, even if you ever felt like you got to the point like life gets boring if you don't have no next level. Yeah. So always keep on searching to make it to the next level.
And it's not necessarily like you comparing yourself to anybody who's doing better than you. It's just simple. It's just a simple fact though. Like,
and why don't you compare it? Like, you know what I mean? Say for instance, you know, whenever, like, because like anybody that's very successful, one thing, I compare myself to myself. And I always want to keep on surpassing myself.
Yeah,
it's like I'm chasing myself.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is. So, you know, it's not necessarily you in competition with anybody else. You're more so in competition with yourself. So you might have surprised yourself that you was able to do this.
Yeah.
But then it's like you can surprise yourself even more. Like every time
I'm calling it new vision.
Yeah, every time you randomly mess around and surprise yourself even more than you surprised yourself last time. I essentially believe in that, you know, there's always a next level to reach. You never want to be complacent, you know, and stagnant, you know, and that's what, you know, sometimes you might get yourself feeling that way. You need to snap out of it quick. Yeah. You know, that's the one thing that will be detrimental to your success.
Always do your self checks.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's some tools of the game? Like of your game? Because, you know what I mean, everybody has they may read books. Yeah. They may wake up early. Some people, you know, pray. Like, what's your tool to the game to always keep you on track?
I mean, really, just like really understanding that it's always a next level to reach. Yeah. But then also, it's about how fast we reaching it too. Sometimes, Facts. You know, as much as people say is like you got time, I don't believe that. Nah. If you continue to believe that you got time, you're eventually gonna run out of time. If you believe that you got time, you know, you're just not gonna get work done. You know, it's more so like that. Hold on. It's more so you gonna cut all that. You gonna cut all that stuff out.
Man, we gonna keep it going.
My fault. But it's more so when you believe that you have time, you don't really have enough time as much as you think. And it's like, you know, sometimes like my parents tell me slow down or chill out, and that's not really what I need to be hearing. You know, even though sometimes
here, keep going.
Yeah, even though sometimes that's what you might need as far as to like you might need to take a break. Yeah. Like if you tell yourself you need that break, sometimes you might just take that break and never really get back to running. Yeah. So that's why I try never really to take no breaks. I always try to keep things in motion. Mm-hmm. And you know, every day, you know, is limited, and it's like we really don't have as much time on earth as we think we do.
Especially like anybody that's like had somebody that's bad. Yeah. I just want you to kind of look into the perspective that, say for instance, you know, there's people that's dying that's 16, 20. It's like those people didn't get that chance to make it to that next age. So you that's making it to that next age, what is stopping you from reaching your goal, or why you're not trying your hardest to get there?
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, it's something that like I'll also say like, you know, you want to do this while you kind of young. As much as you kind of do had time, you could be doing it when you're 30, 35. It's more fun when you're doing it when you're younger. So that means you just got to work harder, hustle harder, you know.
And we talking about this hard work, so like, how do you balance, you know what I mean, the hard work from, you know what I mean, enjoying yourself? Because I feel like, say for instance, you know, positive reinforcement. So you do all this hard work, but you know what I mean, where's the little sunshine that you add into it?
So, you know, essentially, you know, with what I do, you know, I work anywhere in the world. So like, you know, it's like I could work anytime, anywhere in the world. And that's
digital money.
Yeah, that's very rewarding because it's never really like I have to kind of take time to go ahead and reward myself. It's like I'm always rewarding myself, you know. It's like I could
just blend it in with your daily life.
You know, yeah. So it's like the job, even though it's like still you gotta go get on the computer, you gotta go make this website, run this ad set, run these ads or something like that. It's more so we doing this on our time, you know. So it's like we could be, you know, at the nicest hotel in the world doing this, you know what I'm saying? And that's
no limit to where you
So it's like that's really the most rewarding, or I would say
because even me, you know me, I run a business and I got a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. So like whenever you say something like that, like I'm just letting you know, like, you know what I mean? That's because I didn't have a job before, but I just, you know, I graduated, so I said, you know, let me test out my degree. Yeah. But while doing that, one thing I realized is that you don't have that flexibility. You got to put in PTO to go take a break. Yeah. And it's like, you know what I mean? Me, you know what I mean? I work all the time, so it don't matter. Like on the business, you might have to wake up and go do something real quick just to fix something. Yeah. So it's like what I would say is like even when we are quote unquote on rewarding ourselves, taking time off, you know, we really not, because it's like if this Facebook manager, ads manager goes down, we got to get on that ASAP. Ain't no time to wait, you know, and we can do that. You know, we can do that. If we on the beach, we get the email, Facebook ads manager goes down for this client. We can go in there and fix that right away. Like, so it's like really, you know, we always rewarding ourselves and we always working. Yeah, simple. You know, this is how it goes. Yeah. And then so one thing that I like to talk about is usually like what's your purpose in all of this? Like, you know what I mean? For me, you know what I mean, my purpose is to, you know, I want to put my family in a position. Like I want to make that generational wealth to like everybody eating.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean, I paid the way. Even it don't have to be me, but that's just, you know what I mean, I want everybody to be eating good.
100%. I would say like the purpose, man, the goal is to be the biggest and the best to ever do it. You know, that's the goal. You know, that should be everyone's goal in whatever they're doing, to be the greatest at what you're doing, the biggest and the best. You know, and that's just essentially that's the goal. So, you know, even when we get there, it's still gonna be work to be done. That's just one goal. You know, that's just one goal. I would say that's the ultimate goal. But even when we get there, it's still work to be done. You know, we gotta go back and we gotta help. You know what I'm saying? For the ones that couldn't do it, the ones that struggling to do it, we got to go back and help. And, you know, to help anybody, you know, a lot of the times, as much as people want to say, you know, it's just posting a repost or it is, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, cutting a check, you know what I'm saying? Donating supplies, materials, time, you know? So, you know, you got to get to the point where you can afford to donate your time. You know, time is the most expensive thing in the world. It's priceless. You know, you got to get to a point where you can afford to donate your time, your resources, you know, money, you know. So it's like, you know, they need $3 million to build this facility, religious facility, homeless center. You know, you can go cut that.
Missions,
You know, so it's like you become the biggest and greatest at whatever you feel it is, do that first, and then come back and start trying to help everybody else. You know, that's something I believe in too, because a lot of the time, you know, just making a post, you know, bringing awareness to something is great, but, you know, a lot of the times it doesn't do much as people think, you know, sometimes.
Like,
you know?
actually, because, you know what I mean, that's another thing, you know, whenever people would be criticizing these celebrities that's putting money towards it, they be saying comments like, oh, why you only put that amount, and they ain't even donated to the cause.
So it's like, you go do it, you know what I'm saying? You go do it. So it's like, you can't really be critiquing stuff that you can't really even do, number one, and especially when it's something that's good. You can't really, I feel like you don't really have any place, especially if you haven't really helped out. You know? And
then, you know what I mean, as, you know, young black successful men, especially like reaching the status of like a high level, like how is dating?
You say what?
Like dating girls, because, you know what I mean, feel like, you know what I mean, the higher up that you go, it's like your options become way more, and there's gonna be a lot more female, oh, I'm just trying to get with him just because he got bread.
I mean, you know, like, I filter that out quick. So it's like a lot of the time it's like, you know, ain't really no pressure to even be with this person, be with that person. Yeah. Just because we got a goal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like over the time, whoever there at the end gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I can't really do nothing about that, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like, I really understand. It's like, you know, even with, it would be the same with the male or female, you know, it's like, it'd be guys, they trying to get close to you, they trying to get in the circle because they see its motion, you know, we already know how to filter that out. You know, it's the same with the girls, you know what I'm saying? Ain't really much change with that. You know, it's the same old, definitely more options, but, you know, same old.
Facts, man. Because I don't know. You know what I mean? That's why I be saying, like, more so, like, bro, you got to remember that, you know what I mean? You still got your goals ahead of you, and as bad as it sounds, it's like,
as far as advice,
girls are always gonna be there.
Yeah, as far as advice, women 100% of distraction. You know, 100% of distraction, and you know you can kind of try to make it work. You know, but they forever gonna like kind of be a distraction. You know, even if y'all are married, like even if you are married, you know, it's just gonna be, you know, if you got to go to run this bag up, you might have to spend time away from your family. So it's sacrifices. So, you know, if you want to spend time with your family, you might lack off at work a little bit, or, you know, the bag might, you know what I'm saying? But that's because you trading off. It's trade-off. So you got to make sure that you getting this, that you got a balance, you know, between the relationship, the social life, the health, the wealth. You know, it's pivotal that there's a balance between all of this. 100%.
And then another thing I wanted to point out is, so how do you feel about like people clubbing, drinking on the weekends, and they don't really got money for real, but they, you know what I mean, people always say that, oh, but I'm still grinding, I'm just having fun, I'm living my young life. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like, if you don't really have no reason to celebrate, you really shouldn't be out. So it's like, for me, like, I pop out, if it's like a birthday, my partner's birthday,
that's
or
kind of like just
something
the
like
speed
that.
I've been on now.
So it's like, I'm not gonna just be popping out to pop out. I'll pop out if it's like an event going on, a birthday, a celebration, an actual reason to celebrate, something to be celebrating about. I'm not just gonna be popping out just because I'm bored and I just want to get out on the nightlife or something like that. That ain't really
I don't know. Every time sometimes I get into a mode to where I end up going a lot for no reason.
Yeah.
I start distracting myself from what I'm supposed to be doing anyways.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous too. So
yeah, that'll set you back. That'll set you back decades. That'll set you back decades if you can't control yourself. It's all about discipline and self-control for sure. Sure.
Okay, so we always talk about, like, as entrepreneurs, we always talk about like the success and like accomplishments that we come across. Like, what are some setbacks that that you kind of came across along your journey?
I would say, if you're scaling a store and then, it goes south, I would say that's kind of a setback because you feel like the world is coming to an end, but it's really not, it's really not coming to an end. There's always going to be more opportunity out there. But, various things like that, it's just like, shit, nigga, it's hot, fam. I keep fucking up the podcast.
Nah, you good, bro. Hey, no, that's good.
It's like live stream.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Oh, okay.
Hey, go. Let me get some water right now.
Yeah. But that's just how it goes. Like, if you might feel like the world is coming to an end if the store gets shut down or something like that. That's really generally it.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, it's always ups and downs. So it's like the first time that it's like that down, you're not prepared for it. So the first time shit goes wrong, you're gonna be all, fucked up. But then you'll get used to it. So now the next time shit's going wrong, you already adapted. So it doesn't hurt as much. It doesn't fuck with your emotions as much. It's kind of, you've been here before. So, every time shit goes south, you've already had that previous experience of shit going south, and just understand every time that shit's going really good, shit's bound to go south. So it's like, never get too comfortable. If you taking all these wins, you feel like everything you on top of the world, just expect the L.
That's what I be, man. I ain't gonna lie, even myself too. Like, remember I take an L like this year, like, bro, I was everything just coming in, bro. Like, good emails, got a sponsorship with Adobe.
Yeah.
All these things happen. I think I started sports betting.
Yeah.
When I didn't, I ain't really, cause bro, like, how stuff worked for me. Like, that's my favorite kind of like shine.
Yeah.
With me doing what I'm already doing. Every time I try to like pivot and go do some other shit.
Yeah, 100%.
I blow off some bread and
100%. Yeah.
It wasn't too crazy. Bro.
Yeah, I don't really like gambling too much. I feel like it's not really a good way to make money.
Yeah,
like guaranteed
crazy?
money. Like,
it's
crazy?
not. I started it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Then I saw bread. I said, "Oh shit, this shit easy."
Yeah.
Throwing cash.
Yeah. I feel like, ain't really no guaranteed way to actually bring inconsistent bread. Every now and then dabble. But as far as like, this is what I'm doing, nah, definitely not. Even with the stocks and the crypto, like, you can come up off that too, like betting stocks and crypto. But I feel like the thing that you need is a business. You need a business.
You know what I mean?
It'll be
kind of like, it's not like you're waiting on something. You're kind of like forcing.
Yeah, it'll be like, you got 200 coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know that. It's not like you could lose 200, you can go up 200.
Yeah, that's just the market.
You might go up 1,000, you might lose it. It's like, this coming in tomorrow. Like, people are going to be using this service for the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. These people got a year subscription locked in with your business. You guaranteed to make money for the next 2 years, regardless of what happens with the market, the game, the lines, all of that. So, it gives you a different sense of like security, or you really printing cash. Yeah.
And so, we're talking about printing cash. So the art of scale, right?
Yeah.
So, like, kind of like give somebody advice. If, say for instance, if I'm making 2,000, 5,000, but I'm trying to scale it to 50,000, like, kind of break down that process. Cause I feel like scaling the business, it's kind of like you can kind of transfer some of the models to other businesses just because, you kind of like outsourcing and things of that nature.
Yeah, I feel like, scaling a business is very much a 2+2 situation. Like, if you're doing this and you making 30 calls a day, you making 1,000 a day, making 30 calls, but you don't have any more time to make any more calls because you're just one person. All you need to, and you're already making $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
All you need to do, go get somebody, pay them $100 a day, to make 30 calls for you.
Yeah.
So now you making $2,000 a day. You really paying them $100, so you might make $900 instead of that $1,000.
Yeah.
So that you do that with 30 other people.
Trade off little to make more.
Yeah. Exactly. So you do that with 30 other people, and now it's like boom, making 30 bands a day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That's how it goes. So what's next for Young Versace?
I mean, right now I got this new partnership recently inked, with an investor. So, I'm trying to get in there and I'm trying to scale up to 50 drop shipping stores at once. It's possible. Trying to get in there and do that. So it's like now it's bigger than just one store. We have a holding company where we got all of these stores. We're essentially a conglomerate in the field, in the industry, e-commerce. It's a rapidly growing industry. Yeah. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's going to be around for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So, that's what's next for me, really trying to hone in and get these systems in place, because as much as, we talk about scaling, it's like I said, it's a 2 + 2 = 4 type of thing, to where if you're making $5K a day, $10K a day, you could be making $50K a day.
Nice.
If you're making $100 a day, you can make $200 a day. It's like, damn, you just got to get the systems in place, because if you're making $5K a day, you might have a 3-4 man operation. But if you're making $50K, $100K, you might need 20, 30 people. So it's like now you got to go train these 20, 30 people. You got to go put them in the loop. So they can stay consistent. You got to have everybody on the same page. So it's like now you really becoming a corporation. You becoming a big player in the business acumen field. Logistics. And things like that. So that's where I'm trying to level up and take it to next.
Have you been hearing about all of this AI stuff?
Yeah, I have been hearing about the AI stuff. It's real crazy stuff. Yeah, 100%. It's like I feel like it's about to change the game.
Is that gonna be something that you're gonna be using or not?
100%. I'm already using it.
Okay.
We're already using it.
I've been using it too.
100%. We're already on game with that. Yeah. I feel like if it gets to the point where it's like you can train the AI to essentially like run your business for you, I feel like you good. If you could train the AI to run your business for you, then it's like, hold on, you got this computer making you 3 bands a day. Like, that's crazy,
Because I'm just, when I'm thinking about this AI, I say, bro, the way that you can scale.
Yeah, that shit crazy. Like, you can get a computer that's printing you cash. Yeah, they're going to have to.
And you can take off. Like, say, for instance, how you were talking about training, too. Like, imagine if you're able to train a computer that's not going to mess up.
Exactly. So. It's just going to, I feel like, human work is going to be obsolete very soon with this new AI stuff. Definitely implementing it into our systems, Yeah. But that's just how it goes. I feel like, as far as scaling, it's just systems, Yeah. It's not necessarily even the number amount about how much you make and how much you selling. It's about how many people you got hired, Facts. That's how I look at it.
All right. And then, the last question of the day is, what advice do you want to give to somebody that wants to get on their journey to start running?
The number one thing I would say is, you got to stop procrastinating. You can't say you're going to do it next year. You're going to do it tomorrow. You really don't even know if you'll be here, So it's like, do it today. Like, do it today. You just got to do it, Like, as much as everybody is wearing Nike and sees the Nike checks, they don't even think about the slogan. Like, just do it. Bro. Like, just do it. Like literally,
facts.
It's that. Like, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, whoever came up with that is genius, because it's like it makes perfect sense. Like, just do it. Like,
literally, you got to get into the art of doing.
A lot of the time, people hold themselves back. They don't want to upload that first YouTube video. They don't want to upload that first TikTok, that first reel. They spend 3 months making that first website.
It's 2023. You gonna we're in January, right? So, with you being in January. Why, you having a fret? It's basically like every new year, if you didn't get no money last year, or even if you didn't get to where you wanted to get to, right? Mm-hmm. Why not start right now? Yeah. Literally. Like, you got to get into the act of doing.
Yeah,
because even for a long time, like, I used to have all these ideas about things I wanted to do, but, the thing that was holding me back was myself.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, you just got to go ahead and make that first step, you know, and it's like you got to make it a point every day to make that step. So, you know, it's like very much like the gym. That's how I look at a lot of things. Like, you know, if you go to the gym one day, you don't go for 7 days, but then you go again. You don't go for 8 days and you go again. Doing that, you're not going to see progress.
Facts.
And when you do see progress, it will be very minuscule. And it's going to take you forever. It'll take you like 2 years doing stuff like that to even, you know, see progress. So it's like, imagine you doing that every day for 30 days straight. All that work that you would have took you somebody else a year. That's how I look at it. All that work that would have took somebody else a year, I'm doing it in a month. Right. So it's like somebody's year is my month.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the places they'll travel, the things they'll do, things they'll buy, the amount they spend, the money they'll make is in my month. So you start getting more out of life. You start working harder, you know, instead of being lazy or, you know, waiting for this or kind of taking it slow or, you know, you start going extra hard. You start, you know, so it's like, that's how it goes. So it's like now I like to say like, you know, 2023 is about to start. And, you know, what I like to do is the first 3 months, I knock out a whole year's of work.
Facts.
January, February, March, I go so hard to the point where if I didn't have to work the rest of the year, I probably wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just start doing stuff like that, you really start getting ahead, you know, you really start changing the game because now it's like, cool, you know, your year is damn near over. Everybody's year is beginning. Your year is over. And now it's like, all right, let's keep working.
That's how you overlap people.
Yeah, like let's keep working. Like let's double down.
And even which, because I used to do these things called 120-day run or like 30-day runs, but now I just switched it into running just because I feel like I should always be working. So 100%,
like, I like that.
Because so whenever you say that, because I remember, because you know, like a funny story, I talked to you like, you know, 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and then you said I was gonna take a trip to Cabo, and then after that I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think we were supposed to like follow up on something, and then I hit your phone, and then you hit me up too. You said, "Hey, might be, bro, I'm just being locked in too crazy." Yeah. So talk about that, the art of locking in.
Sometimes, you know, it gets like that. I'm telling you, like right now, if your phone is not on Do Not Disturb, put it on Do Not Disturb. It changed my life. It changed my life. Like doing that little thing right there sent me like years ahead because I remember like before I did that, it's like your phone vibrate, you check it. You know, like just now, like I got certain people on my favorites list that can call me or text me, and it's like, you know, if I feel my phone vibrate, I check it. You know, like if I'm about to go to sleep and then my phone start ringing, vibrating, I'm opening my eyes and checking it. You know, so you could be doing anything. You could be locked in the studio. You could be doing your work, homework, studying. Your phone vibrates, you're checking it. So make sure your phone isn't vibrating, like because whether or not you check it right there. You know, like you should only have the emergency contacts on favorites. Somebody that's like, it might be an emergency if they contacting you. So it's like, that's going to like set you so far ahead just because you're going to find yourself just not picking up, not looking at your phone as much. Like you'll see the text when you see it, you know, like if it's that important, it's going to vibrate. You know, you could set that in the settings to have the favorites vibrate, but you're going to see the text when you see it. You'll see that meme or that tweet or that post or when you see it, you know, it's not when it wants to see you, you know, and that's how you change the game because...
Really focus too. Because what I started doing now, recently, I ain't gonna lie, I started like moving my phone and my iPad. Usually I used to have my iPad too, but I realized that started distracting me. It'd just be me and my computer. Just put my headphones in. I don't even listen to music. I just put on the podcast and just work. So
100%, yeah. So it's like that's a life hack in itself. It's just, you know, having your phone on Do Not Disturb. Like you're not to be disturbed. Your time is more valuable than a notification. You know, like you really gotta change up your whole frequency if you really want to start aligning with the higher level and things of that sort. Yeah.
So. Man, this was a great podcast. Go ahead and let the people know how they can contact you, and if they're interested in like learning about e-commerce too, you can, you know what I mean, just get them the whole spiel.
Yeah, so you know, at Young Versace on Instagram, YUNG Versace, VRSACE. Go follow me, go DM me. You know, don't go follow me. I don't really care about that. You know, we making bread, so it's like you know, if you do need help on the e-commerce stuff or anything like that, make sure you hit me, shoot me a DM. I provide tons of free value. You know, go check it out if you're interested. You know, that's essentially it.
Hey man, appreciate it, man.
Most definitely.
Hey, running.